Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win for the Oasis 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also hit that bell button so you get a notification for every live stream and video that comes out here on the channel. Also go to golfclashtommy.com for more playthroughs, more Golf Clash content, golden shot, everything for free on the website. You can also get the ultimate tournament guides if you do want to take your game to the next level. We do have guides for tour play as well, obviously. You go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side where you see the elevation adjustment that I'm playing with, the drive, the second shot, and what type of ball and clubs that I do feel is going to be the ones to play with. Have in mind, you don't have to follow what I'm saying, but there is always a thought behind it, and this is going to be a bit more, you know, an interesting one. As 9-hole cup, we don't really need as good score as a normal tournament to bring home a good score. So I would like you to guess, what do you think is going to be the winning score in Pro? Before we go to hole 1, can we get this video up to 100 likes, 100 thumbs up? That would be amazing if we could. Thank you so much, and let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we are looking to play over to the island on the left. Why don't we go to the right? It's because the second shot is then going to be covered by the bunker and the rough. So I'm going to straight forward, 3 bars of topspin, 1 bar of left spin, making sure that the second bounce is clearly above the rough. So if you have a different driver, you might need to add a little bit more topspin because you don't have the same distance as the extra mile level 7, especially when using a lower level extra mile. 4 rings, which is maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and last but not least, we're going to pull or push up 1 ring. This as we go from a higher point to a lower point, and therefore we lose distance. So to make sure that we're not gonna clip the rough with the second bounce, then we push up 1 ring so we make sure that we get over to the fairway. Now we do get into a very nice distance. Yardage is going to be 357, but yardage doesn't matter. Why? It's because we're not playing a linear hole. We're playing straight forward, then to the right, which means that we will have to estimate the club distance every time playing this shot. So first and foremost, I'm looking for doing a very aggressive rough bump, but look at the ball guideline, so glitchy that it's just ridiculous. So we back up, and I'm gonna use 4 bars of backspin with the ball guideline to the hole. You can see that I have a little bit of side spin to the left, which is not the plan. So I retake and go with only 4 bars of backspin to stay away from those minor type of side spin. Now ball guideline, 2 green squares short of pin, and I'm adjusting medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, which is 6.9 rings for 6.9 miles per hour. And then obviously when it comes to shots like this, we do need to hit perfect. But as always, when we do play from long range, getting an albatross from distance is very rare, and this is going to be massive to get an albatross here on hole number 1 and trying to win the tournament. Possible, but you know, in the end it's not gonna drop all the time, but it's always nice to start with an albatross. Is going to be, or not another, but the first par 4, which also going to be a bit difficult. 3 bars of side spin to the right, 2 bars of top spin. If you do play with a ball that do only have side spin 2, use side spin 2, but you need to move a bit more left, because we want to look at the ball guideline. It should be coming into the center of the fairway, with the second bounce to be a bit more to the right side of the fairway than the tip of the ball guideline to have that set. And reason for that is because we do want to be as close to the right side rough possible without obviously endangering going into it. Now when using 2 bars of topspin, we're gonna get to a nice distance, and here yardage 308 is going to be in somewhat pretty valuable. From 308 yards, we are playing more or less like as a northeast angle from how we took the drive, and I'm using in this case 1.5 bar side spin, 3.5 bar backspin, letting or trying to get the ball guideline to be pointing directly at the hole. The thing that we do need to have in mind is that we do need to leave the ball guideline short, because in tailwind on this approach, that we're gonna have a massive extended ball guideline, and I would actually stretch myself towards the fact that this is a hole where the extended ball guide, or like the tailwind or headwind, will have a much more effect than it would be on different type of holes. 20% over adjustment, maximum distance numbers, and I do think here that either we need to aim right side of the cup with using spin, or we need to move ourselves to be a bit more right side cup so the ball can turn into the right. This is, though, no matter if we like it or not, a pretty decent chance making an eagle, but not a hole that I count on the eagle to drop every single time. For hole number 3, you will see me playing a rough bump, and this rough bump is going to be a bit tricky, but I do believe this is going to be the best way to drop this shot for a hole-in-one. And first and foremost, 2 bars of side spin to the left. I'm using 1.5 bar backspin. However, though, I would recommend you to move your target to be a bit more to the right of the pin, like approximately, you know, half a green square to the right of the pin, with the ball guideline coming a bit higher up. So just to say, 2 bars of side spin to the left, but with 1.2 backspin instead. Once you have made your adjustment, which is medium distance plus 10, then you will pull back half a ring. And the good part with that is that you can then use the inner ring to pull back. But here you can see the problem with that we do not really have the speed enough, and we come over to the left a bit too much. And again, if you don't pull back, you will most likely hit the green directly and then go out of bounds. So please be aware and be careful when you do make that pullback. If you don't feel comfortable with the rough bump and only going to play this shot for a birdie, then you play with your long iron and then you curl it on the fairway platform on the bottom right over towards the green. Don't expect anything there that's purely a birdie hole. This is at least a start on working on an adjustment for us to making a hole-in-one here for hole number 3. Here we come to another par 4, hole number 4, which is one of my least favorite par 4s in the whole game. Why? It's because of what's going to happen when we bounce over the rough here, because there is plenty of glitch spots that is on the fairway above the rough that will make your ball roll like it is just got scared and have to run 50 miles or something like that. 4.5 bar top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the right, push up to max. Then I'm going with 2 rings of overpower, and this is with a driver with 4.5 bar topspin. If you do have a driver with 6 bars of topspin, the only thing that you have to do is to push up to max, stay away from the overpower, but because you could see how fast that ball did roll there. It's not really a natural roll, but it happens a lot of times here on this specific hole that we cannot really control if we have a drive that goes long or short or medium, and we just have to adapt for the second shot based on that. Now second shot, I'm playing a rough bump, and here, I know and I hope you're gonna scream, Tommy, don't go short in line, because that is what we're gonna do, unfortunately. 1 bar of side spin left, 3 bars of backspin. I leave the ball guideline towards the pin, and it wouldn't be a problem if it wouldn't be that we drop down to a lower point here for the second shot. I adjust this one medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, and once we are done here, you see that I push up approximately half a ring. So half a ring push up, but we need to make sure that the ball guideline, when we set spin, is going to slightly through the hole. So 2.8 backspin instead of 3, and in the end, instead of going right at the hole and going short in line, then we would be getting that one to drop instead. This is, though, if we do get the drive into an enough distance, so we are lucky with that, then this is a good chance for a drop. Otherwise, I would consider this one to be purely a birdie hole, where we're just gonna have to just take the birdie and be done with it. Power 3 ball to make sure that with a short drive that we can still reach with our sniper. For hole number 5, I'm going to give you 2 types of shot. One, that is a rough bump, that is obviously a work in progress. We're gonna start by playing this one with 6 bars of backspin and 3 bars of side spin to the left. because you can see here that I do change in the end to remove the final piece of a backspin bar to make sure that the ball guideline is going slightly through the hole. Sure, now we do have a headwind and we need to think about that, and that is what we're gonna do with the final piece in this adjustment. But first, maximum distance, no elevation is what I want you to do. And once dropping down there to outside the rough and done with the adjustment, we push up 2 rings. Unfortunately, I only push up 1.5 rings, which makes this ball go short, obviously. And also when it goes short, we're not gonna get enough roll, which means that the ball is gonna slow down and then miss right. So we do need a little bit more speed, and we do need to hit the rough a little bit higher up, and to do so. No elevation for the shot there, maximum distance is what we're playing with. And this shot is only possible to play with Sniper 9 or Sniper 10 when it comes to a sniper. But if you do have a lower level sniper, or you might just don't feel comfortable with rough bump, we choose to pack the Saturn as a long iron together with our sniper to keep ourselves in absolute minimum distance of our club. 3 bars of side spin to the left. I'm using 1 bar of top spin, using having the ball guideline to be just through the hole. Okay. Then once we're done with the yellow ring by the rough line, complete minimum distance, we do adjust minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment, which is 4.7 rings. And unfortunately, it does seem that I pull approximately 1 or 2 decimals too much with my pull there. And in the end though, could be because I didn't zoom in enough. Bounce on the fairway, the ball clips the rough and it rolls down towards the pin, and very, very close, making a hole-in-one with a bounce over shot. I do feel that hole number 5 is our absolute best opportunity making a hole-in-one in this tournament, and in the end, that's why I wanted to show you 2 types of approaches, because it kind of depends on what you feel comfortable with in what way you're gonna play. For hole number 6, we're looking for a double bounce over to the final fairway. Here, use the driver that gives you at least 6 bars of top spin. Obviously, if you don't have 6 bars top spin on any driver, then you use the maximum that you have, which most likely going to be 4.5. So, Apocalypse level 4 is only used purely because I do have 6 bars of top spin. Otherwise, I will most likely use the extra mile. I do check first and foremost when I'm added spin, how much, or like how many rings do I need to push up to get the bounce to be just a first bounce on the fairway, second bounce on the fairway over the rough. And with the Apocalypse level 4, that was 3 rings. So you do need to add the spin and then stretch out to estimate that yourself. And you're looking to see the second bounce approximately 1.5 to 2 rings before the rough. Because we have a tailwind and we're going to have an extended ball guideline, so we do need to make sure that we do have room for a longer first bounce. Now, okay, we are on the fairway. We now have the sniper for the second shot, and here I would strongly recommend you to, if you do have the sniper level 8+, you play with the sniper level 8+. Otherwise, you choose to play with the big dog or the cataclysm, because you will most likely have to go with overpower, or at least, push up a decent amount with a lower level sniper. So sniper is definitely the key here. I want the ball to come in on the left hand side to fall down towards the pin, but the problem here is always to get the correct speed. I've been short, I've been long, I've been dropping it, but it's very, very difficult to get it consistent. Now, when I do have tailwind here, I would, however, though, recommend that you leave the ball guideline slightly short of pin, approximately 1 green square, because now when we aim for pin, we do come in too hot, we don't really catch the funnel that is on the top left, and then we fall a bit long. But would you be mad or sad if you don't get albatross here? No. But because this is purely an eagle hole. But if we do drop an albatross here, which is possible, then we should be very happy. 20% over adjustment for the drive. Sorry, for the second shot. 10% over adjustment for the drive. Shot that goes very short, but there is a clear idea with this type of play. First and foremost, we're gonna add spin, and here I would recommend you to play with 5.8 backspin, 1 bar of left spin, to make sure that the ball guideline is going slightly through the hole, because we do have headwind. And we're also going to attempt a rough bump here. And the rough bump here is a bit glitchy, and if you do not do one thing, which I don't, then you will fall short. And we're gonna get to that when we've been taking our shot. Maximum distance, no elevation whatsoever, trying to have an 11:59 pull angle. And then we're going to try to take our shot. Perfect ball, and look what happens here now. We hit the rough, but we are further back. And the reason we then go short is because we are not high enough. Sure, it's going to be a safe birdie putt, but the thing that we do need to do is, like, step 1, we add backspin. So 5.8 backspin, 1 bar of left spin. Then we are going to make sure that the ball guideline is going through the hole with the top of the yellow ring by the edge of that rough. And here you can see me first, going with the wrong type of spin. So obviously start with 5.8, 1 left spin, and then ball guideline through the hole. When this is done, now I want you to push up your target 1 ring, which means that you will have your bullseye just before when the fringe starts, okay? And then you adjust max with no elevation, and then you take your shot. Then you will see yourself having a much better wrestle than what I'm having here, because here I do make a mistake and I do not push up. Sure, I'm not risking anything, but we do need to push up so we do get that roll towards the pin and have a possibility making a hole-in-one. For hole number 8, we are looking to get over to the left-hand side. And you may be wondering, why do we try to go over left instead of right when the wind is as it is? Because we need to go back to the last time we played this hole in a tournament, which was a while ago. But then we played right side all the time, and unfortunately there were so many glitched spots there by the green that the ball just didn't act as we wanted to do. So therefore we're gonna play left, where it's a tougher drive, but there is less glitched rolls there. Here I play with the rock level 7. I go max side spin left, which is 3 bars with the katana. I'm also using 4 bars of topspin. Once I'm done, I push up 2 rings with the rock level 7. I would recommend to push up to max if you do want to play with a quarterback. And obviously if you play with an apocalypse or an extra mile, you don't need to push up anything. Last but not least, we go with a tiny bit of curl to the left, just to make sure that we stay on the fairway, because the fairway will have the ball take a turn going straight and then fall right. So we do need that extra little curl to get there nicely. Now for the second shot, we're gonna play with a long iron. And we're gonna be very close to minimum distance of our club. 1 bar of side spin is what I like us to go with, because that is pretty much a very solid adjustment. So 1 side spin to the right and 1 bar of topspin. You can use more if you want to. You don't have to use 2 bars as you don't have to use 1 bar or 3 bars. You can use 2 as well. But especially, when it comes to the tree there that we do have, I would, however, recommend to use at least a little bit of side spin. So 1 or 2 or 3, doesn't really matter, whatever suits you best. Now we play this one 2.1 rings. We get this ball to come in right side of the cup, which means that we are a little bit too heavy with our adjustment, but we still get it to drop. So 2.1 rings, minimum distance club, which is approximately 16% slider with no elevation. So you really need to estimate your club distance every single time if you don't have a yardage table to go on. This is, however, the absolute best chance in this tournament to get a drop. And that is something that we do need to focus on getting, because otherwise we will not win in the 9-hole cup. For hole number 9, the drive is going to be very tricky. Here I'm using a max topspin, which is 6 bars, and then 3 bars of side spin to the right. Looking for the second bounce to just show to be above the bunker. And the reason we don't want it to be further up is because we do have a tailwind and we will be having a slight longer first bounce. So we do need to just be above the bunker there with our second bounce when spin is added. Adjustment, maximum distance with 10% over adjustment, and then we're gonna play with 3/4 of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. The ball then bounces into the rough roll out on the fairway, and now we are in a position where we can reach the green in 2. If we don't play that route over to that fairway, we will not be able to reach the green in 2, and that's why we do need to play that type of drive. If you don't have the topspin on your driver, let's say that you do have maximum XMI level 7, 4.5 bars of topspin, but you maybe have a big topper level 1, I would strongly advise you to play with a big topper instead, and play with the same type of structure. You know, add spin so the second bounce is showing that it's just above the bunker. So the topspin is the key here when you're choosing the driver. Second shot, you can see that I'm first and foremost trying to look for, should we go for a rough bump here? You know, I would most likely have to overpower a little bit and stuff. And honestly, if we can reach there and be very careful with the trees, that is an albatross attempt. Otherwise, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with that, which I totally get, because I don't feel comfortable with that either, so I do change around in the end to go with a quicker adjustment that is on the right here, because we have a limited amount of time. If you do have a sniper level 9, level 10, sure, you can use the backspin shot here, but I would, however, recommend to go with the Guardian, to use as much backspin possible to have the ball to bounce over into the green and then go with the backspin to fall down towards the pin. Because you can see here, we bounce nicely and the ball rolls nicely, but we really don't have the backspin enough with the sniper. And sure, you will have to decide, either you play it super duper safe, so you don't take any type of risks, and then it's only going to be an eagle all the time, which is totally fine, or you try to push the Guardian pretty hard to use the backspin to fall back towards the pin. In the end though, we have a short amount of time to play in this 9-hole cup, so I would go towards the fact that we should not push it too hard, but it's not wrong to go a bit more aggressive with the Guardian when we do have the backspin, which gives us a bit more control. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with the tournament win for the Oasis 9-hole cup. Make sure that you email us at support@golfclashtommy.com if you do have any questions. You can also get the best guides on the market, the ultimate tournament guides, by becoming a member at patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck in the Oasis 9-hole cup.